Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to Psycholinguistics 101. So, in today's session, we're going to talk about language disorder. So, what is language disorder anyway? Language disorders are problems with speaking, understanding, reading, or writing. It could be hard for people with communication problems to communicate with others, and this disorder could happen to both children and adults. And why do we need to study language disorder? By studying language disorder, it could help us understand how the brain controls speech. And by studying it, it could help us to create a better and effective way to help people with communication problems and overcome their problems. Uh, Actually, there are several factors why language disorder could happen, such as neurological factor, damage to certain parts of the brain, developmental factor, delays in children's development, and genetic factors or inherited condition that runs down in the family. Uh, Research about language disorder was done by two most influential figures, uh, known as Paul Broca and Carl Wernicke. Paul Broca in 1861 was researching in the specific area in the left hemisphere, or the posterior third of the gyrus, or inferior frontal gyrus. This part, later known as Broca's area. So the people that have damage to this part of the brain, it affected their speech production, and people with this damage, they can speak fluently, but they could understand others. Well, the research that was done by Carl Wernicke in 1874, he also researching in the specific area in the left hemisphere, in the second gyrus of the left temporal lobe. Um, he later known that people that have this damage, it affected their language comprehension. So people with this damage, they could pronounce the word fluently, but in nonsensical speech, and they have poor understanding. Uh, and there are two types of language disorder. The first one is developmental disorder. Happens when children are learning language. The first one we know as specific language impairment, or SLI. This is the trouble with grammar and vocabulary, and autism spectrum disorders, problems with social skills and communication. And second one is acquired disorder. This is the kinds of disorder that happens after a person already know or understand the language. Um, we know as aphasia. Aphasia usually caused by brain damage like stroke. So in this topic, our main topic is we're going to talk about aphasia. Uh, there are five types of aphasias. Global aphasia. This is the kinds of severe difficulty speaking and understanding, and conduction aphasia, problems with repeating words but fluent speech, and transcortical aphasia. They can repeat words but have struggles with the fluency and understanding. And the main two types of aphasias is Broca's area and Wernicke's area. So Broca's area, as mentioned earlier, this is affecting people with speech production. Um, so Broca's area, people with Broca's aphasia, it affects their pronunciation, but they could understand others when they speak. And for Wernicke's area, it affects the comprehension. So this is like the reversal of the Broca's area, where people with Wernicke's area damage, they could understand. Um, there's nothing wrong with their comprehension, but they have troubles with speaking. Um, what are types of treatment in this era? So, there are several traits that we have found in this time, such as speech therapy to help people um, speak and understand communication, and um, creating a supporting environment and supporting family to encourage them to keep on speaking, because that's the only way that we could um, become good. The conclusion of this topic is, why do we need to learn language disorder? Because it it could help us understanding how the brain processes language in both healthy and sick people. And by studying language disorders, it also help us finding better treatments for people that affected with this disorder, by finding better ways or better treatment for them. So that's all for today's session. See you in another session. Bye bye.